I might just be quitting poultry farm. Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So this video is more or less like a rant and a complaint video, and I think I might just be quitting poultry farm because the way things are has been things have been very difficult since like 2020 was not a good year for farmers, for everybody, but it's now becoming worse. That I don't know where things, I know the direction things are going, but we've been hopeful that things gonna get better. But the way it has been now, I'm not sure things is going to get better anytime soon. Things have been moving in the direction that we've been thinking, okay, it's going to get better. And even the government have not been playing a good part in terms of helping farmers, and especially poultry farmers. This year, if you look at it, I think sometimes around July or August, I did a video when this whole thing started off, and I complained about the fact that maize has been scarce. Maize is like one of the major ingredients of poultry feed, and it has been scarce, and people are complaining. I could remember watching Channels TV then, and this woman who has like a big farm, I've forgotten her name now, said that if things are not done, ban on importation of maize, on the products and maize, and rain hasn't been falling in Nigeria. Which means that people that planted produce have not been yielding, have not been getting something out of it, which means we only have to rely on what was imported into the country, and there has been ban on importation, and people have been crying and saying let them lift the ban on importation so that it would affect it won't affect the production of feed. And things was getting worse then, where we started buying feed that we bought for around 2,800 naira per bag. He later moved up to like, he got to a point he moved to 3,000. I had the opportunity of buying feed like almost 2 months, feed that I will use for 2 months down. So like 2-3 increases in price within 1 month. I wasn't that affected by that, but after then, and then there was scarcity of feed. Then amidst that, the price jumped again, and I remember my aunt calling me and telling me that, oh, if you have some money on you, buy feed, because from POULTRY then, around I think late August or September, I've forgotten now, we started buying feed for around 3,200 or so. I've forgotten the actual price now. And we heard some news that, okay, the federal government are giving like 5 companies a mandate to import maize and produce feed. We're hopeful that things was going to get better, and then the birds started behaving funny because of the lack of good ingredients in the feed. The maize was not good enough. A lot of things was wrong with the feed, so there was drop in the production of eggs for those that are doing layers bed. So for example, I remember someone telling me that the birds, our birds lay like 70 crates a day, and it dropped to around 50 crates. The heat was too much. Things were getting out of hand, and people actually sold their birds then, those that couldn't even continue with the way things are. And yeah, we were still pushing that there won't be scarcity. So the price of eggs jumped from around 900 to 1,000. People complained, but there was nothing that they could do. And now it keeps going on and on. Later, it now became a thing of there is always going to be an increase in the feed every week. And now presently, where we are now, which I think is not going to get better, is the fact that feed has now come to a place where directly from the manufacturers of whatever brand of feed you use, Top Feed, be it Top Feed, Animal Care, are selling feed as at I think 4,200 or 4,003, and we are now buying for around 4,450, 4,500, depending on where you are. So where I am, yeah, we are buying feed for around 4,400, 4,450. It hasn't circulated, and I know some people in the east also are buying feed for 5,000 naira, which means and the high cost of feed does not actually impact the high cost of eggs, because customers are still going to complain that, oh, the eggs are not they are not big enough and they can't buy. We started selling egg for 1,100 directly from farm, and people were complaining and saying, oh yes, we can't buy for this, how much do you want us to sell it? And we try to explain to them that it is not actually our fault that we are selling at that price, because we know how the economy is, but no one wants to listen to you. And people see that, oh, you bringing egg out of farm, they don't know the struggle you are actually facing. They don't want to see the correlation between the high cost of feed and the production of the eggs, because they are not even producing. I personally, there was like almost like 8 crates or 10 crates decrease in the amount of production by my birds are making, which is presently we are running on loss. And we just look at it, okay, is there any need to continue in this business? And if things are going this way, people will buy eggs for like 2,000 naira, 2,100, and there won't be eggs to buy, because we are nearing December and people are going to sell their old layers, which means apart from the high cost of feed, there will be scarcity of egg in January, and everything is not even getting better. I'm thinking presently I have to make a decision and say no. If I'm still going to come back, I will, but the way things are, it might just be the end of poultry farm for me, except the government is trying to do something. Even if, yes, we are saying, look, make your own feed, but if you don't know the right thing to do, if you don't know the right ingredient to use, how many people know the right quantity of soya bean, the right quantity of rice meal, the right quantity of other things to mix to make a good feed? And what makes it difficult is these birds are very disrespectful, to use that word for lack of better word. They are very disrespectful for the fact that if you don't give them the right quantity of feed, or if you don't give them the right nutrient of feed, they won't even produce. I had my birds go a streak of days without producing well, and even when they produced, they were laying smaller eggs. And December is coming. Yes, I was supposed to selling my old layers in December, which was a loss. Is there need for me to restock? I'm putting everything down and just trying to see that, okay, will there be need for me to restock? If I'm going to be restocking, what quantity? And even the beds that we are buying presently is not good. Even if you buy day-old chick and raise them yourself, my hands bought day-old chick around I think September, and the day they brought them, they actually had them like 40 die that day. In total, she had over 100 birds die within that period. And today that you're watching this video, and I remember her telling me that, okay, Daniel, don't buy beds now, because I was actually trying to pay and even get some beds in readiness for or when I would sell the old layer, so that at least by the time the old layer goes, there will be, these ones will be preparing to start laying, and there won't be shortage of eggs when people need them. And she was telling me, Daniel, she's having some information now that beds are not good. And even if you are buying point of lays were supposed to be selling at around 1,400, 1,400 for 16 weeks. And we are not even getting that 16 weeks. We are getting like 12 weeks, 11 weeks at around 1,600, which does not even pay. And everything seems as if is turning upside down, and there's nowhere you want to go. And this is why I tell people that sees a lot of people doing poultry business, and they see you selling eggs, they see you selling birds, and they say, oh, you're actually making money, but they don't see the inner part where they will tell you where people are actually crying. I've gone like 3 days on a stretch crying inside that. And that is why it is not even advisable for you to start a poultry farm with borrowed money, because if this kind of thing happens, you are doomed. And you just look at it and say, okay, what is the joy in actually doing business in Nigeria? What is the joy of actually saying you are going into agriculture when the government are preaching that go into agriculture, and there's nothing to show for it? And you just look at it that, okay, what is it that you want to do? And not just poultry farming, even the catfish business is something that the feed is crazy as well, but not as crazy as poultry beds. And as a small poultry farmer, you just lose it sometimes. You lose it and just say, what is it? And if you are raising broilers, I have some broilers that I'm raising that we are even looking at it that, okay, I'm not sure people are going to buy chicken for Christmas, because the price, when you look at the price of feed, and 4,500 that I mentioned, those are like for layers bed. Starters are selling for like 4,850 or so, if I'm not wrong, or 5,000 naira. Then finisher and everything is just, you don't even know the direction. And it's not as if, oh, it's going to stop here. The amount is going to stop here. Is still going up. We're still hearing that, okay, there will still be an increase in the price of feed. And you look at it, okay, is it really worth it? Is it really worth doing business? Is it really worth doing poultry business? And these birds don't even care about whether or not there's scarcity, whether or not they are getting. If they don't eat, they are not producing. If they starve, there is no gain for you. So you just have to look for feed for them, whether good or bad feed. And now, it's before now, you have to discriminate that I can't use this feed for my birds because I've been using so and so feed for long. But at this point, you have to just use feed, any feed that you use, that you see, you have to just use it for your birds, so that they won't even drop. It's going to affect them, yes, but it's better. Half bread is better than none. I think in the space of like 4-5 weeks, I've used 3 different brand of feed for my birds, just to see that they survive. I've used Top Feed, I've used Animal Care, I've used Cornerstone for them, and we keep rotating so that they don't. Top Feed is scarce today, we have to look for a Cornerstone. They still have to eat. And when we couldn't get Cornerstone again, we bought Animal Care just to see that they keep feeding. Yes, it was better off. Then we went back to Top Feed, and everything is just going down and down and down and down. And yes, you are watching this video now, but I hope and I pray things get better. If it does get better, yes, we are going to continue. The support system that I've been having and have been giving me the morale to keep going and keep going. Aside God has been my parents, my hands, and everyone that is going to get better. But there's a point where you just hit the limits. When you hit the limits, there is no way back. And yes, as we draw closer to December, I'm going to sell the whole layers. I might just decide to just sell all the birds and just think of another thing to do. Yes, it's demoralizing, it's painful to say that the business you've invested so much in and you've been hopeful, everything has just been the way it is, basically. I hope things get better. I hope to continue. I hope to keep doing what I've been doing. I don't wish to sell all my birds. We'll still keep pushing to see that things get better. And like they always say, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. I hope that light comes. If you have been thinking of going to poultry farming, I would say just chill out and see how things is going, because this is not the best time for beginners, especially if you don't have money. If you want to borrow, don't borrow to get started. So if you are just thinking of going into poultry farming, I would say chill so that you don't die out of hypertension, because this is not the best time for anyone into agriculture or anyone into poultry business. I'm going to give you an update how things are. Yeah, but presently it is what it is. If you find value in this video, just give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comment section what challenges you are facing as a poultry farmer, wherever you are. Me presently in Nigeria, for those in Nigeria, it hasn't been a good time for Nigerians doing poultry business or doing agriculture in Nigeria. So wherever you are, let me know what you've been facing as a farmer. Drop that in the comment section. I have a complete playlist on poultry farming. You can check it out in the end screen and also in the description box. So catch you some other time. Let's go, peace. Stand up. Stand.